This coming Sunday is the last day for the 2025 Kentucky turkey season. And I'm bringing the 12 gauge. I dusted off the 12 gauge and loaded her up with the Winchester Longbeard XR's 3.5 inch 2 1/8 or 2 1/4 inch powder. It's like a land cannon. I haven't shot a bird with a shotgun since 2023. I shot one bird that year with a bow and then one with a shotgun. Then last year I shot 2 with the bow, and then opening day this year I shot 1 with the bow. So I just, the other day I had my 10th opportunity at a gobbler had I had a shotgun. And from spot and stalk and running, gunning, sitting in blind, hunting 3 different farms, I've had multiple encounters. And it's been an exciting spring, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring the shotgun out. I haven't done that in a long time. So here I sit. It's warm. It's 84 degrees yesterday, and it's warm and sticky and humid today. The wind's almost dead calm. There's a slight breeze. I heard that one bird, and that was it. It's been quiet. So I'll hang tight here for a few hours and see what happens. Circle around to the far southwest corner of the property with the e-bike because I heard a lone gobble way off in this part of the farm. I think it's in this far field and the neighbors. I came around the bend. I called as I was working along the tree line about every 100 yards. Got to the far fence line and I come around the bend real slow and I pop up and I see 2 longbeards and they're working this way. I got you, buddy. There's 2 toms that I bumped into while rounding the bend right where I parked by a barn. And I caught up with them again. There's one just out of sight around the bend, but I don't want him to move from the security cover. And then the other one is up on top of the hill by that telephone pole. I have 2 gobblers that I saw earlier from the barn, and I bumped into them because I came around the corner too fast with the e-bike and they drifted off. So that was about 90 minutes ago. And I have these 2 birds just over the hill. They're somewhere probably within 125 yards, 150 yards of the barn right now. But they're coming in, and I'm sandwiched between those 2 birds and these 2 birds. I'm convinced they're coming from the south, from the neighbors to the south that I've been playing cat and mouse with for a couple days. There we go. There we go. There goes his buddy. Woo! Alright. Little running gun style. Old school, baby. Old school. I came out this morning and I set up on the far east-southeast corner of the field, and I didn't have a single bird gobble this morning and on my side of the fence. And finally at almost 6:45 I heard one lone gobble about between 1/2 and 3/4 of a mile back behind me. So I picked up the Jake decoy, realized nothing was close by, jumped on the Quiet Cat and zipped around the property past the barn where I parked the truck and went around and got on these 2 gobblers. As I'm rounding the bend back to where the barn was,
I saw 2 more strutters. As I came around the corner too fast, I should have stopped and poked around the corner first and then got back on the e-bike, but I didn't do that. Rookie mistake. And there was 2 strutters 20 yards away from the barn, and they spooked. They just kind of like picked their heads up and they just kind of drifted over the hill, and the rest is history. Well, I called to them off and on for about 20 minutes and realized, okay, they drifted down the hill and off to the left. While they were gone, this bird and his buddy got fired up, and I ended up being sandwiched between 2 pairs of gobblers. So it was exciting. I was down in this little depression, and the barn is off to my right, over my right shoulder, southwest of me. And this bird and his buddy got fired up, and they were probably 400 or 500 yards off when I first heard them. And the first pair was around the bend on a logging road, and one was talking, the other one had his head upright, but it was blood red. And every time I called to him, I was watching him with the binoculars. He dropped down. It was almost like he was nervous. You know, he didn't like that. It's like he had a bad memory, you know, from me or someone else with the calling. I don't know. But the other one that I didn't see was around the bend, and he gobbled. And when he gobbled, this one along with his buddy gobbled, and I was sandwiched between the 2 of them gobbling. And as you saw right before the shot, I crawled up out of a valley and up to the top of a knob within about 60, 70 yards of the barn, just so that I know this bird was going to have the height advantage the entire time, but I want to get out of this depression, so at least it'd be an easier shot, and it turned out to be a 44-yard shot. And as he and his buddy were coming back to meet up with the other 2, I was in the middle, and they covered that last probably 150 yards really quickly, and I made a good shot and dropped them. So tagged out here in Kentucky. And you know, earlier in the season, from day 1, I shot a bird with the bow, and then 2 weeks plus later, I had 10 encounters with gobblers that I could have killed with the shotgun, but I was carrying the Hoyt. And I said, you know what? It's been a couple of years since I've shot a bird with a shotgun. I decided to dust off the old 12 gauge and whip out the Winchester Longbeard XRs and made short order of this one. First time out with the shotgun. Sweet redemption. 2 birds, 2 tags down here in Kentucky. I have a few days left. If I can maybe twist my wife's wrist to get her to go out and film her shoot a bird, that'd be kind of cool. And then I have another buddy of mine that he shot a Jake this morning, and he'd like to get a Tom. So hopefully we can connect and make that happen. But big old gobbler here in Kentucky, and God is good. Best part of every turkey hunt is loading them up in the back of your game vest. What fun way to do it. In my way, a quiet cat. Can't go wrong with that.